Good afternoon, good evening, welcome back to Weather United on this fantastic Sunday, October the 9th, 2022. In today's video, we're going to be talking about that big Arctic chill that's coming for a lot of the Midwest, including for the eastern seaboard and the southeast. If you like detailed weather updates, consider subscribing, hitting that like button, and sharing this video with your family and friends on social media. And also, be sure to check out our Weather United Discord server. There's a link in the description below this video. So without further ado, let's get started and talk about our Nowcast weather going on right now in the United States, and then we're going to be diving really deep into the computer models and taking a look at our climate prediction center, as much colder air is on its way by the end of this week into the early part of next week. And I mean the week of August or October the 17th and the 18th. So let's take a look here. We got a trough that is dropping down right now into the Great Lakes, as you can see by a lot of the flow that we're looking at here. Some cloud cover, some showers that are passing on by, but no snow with this, which is good news to see, with warm weather that is really extending its reach across the Pacific Northwest into the desert Southwest and California, bringing almost what appears to be some monsoonal moisture, which you typically do not want to see by this time of the year. Usually think of fall, right? But it's not ending up that way as of right now. Now, putting this into motion on Monday morning on the European model, I always like using this model because why? It is one of the most accurate models out there. Not saying the GFS is not accurate at all, but the European seems to be onto something by the end of this week. So we can see, first of all, quiet weather across the entire United States for your Monday morning. So no issues there, other than maybe some showers and thunderstorms over northwestern Texas, but otherwise pretty good, right? No problem at all for your morning commute. Showers start to erupt in Oklahoma and portions of Texas for your Monday afternoon, and then coming forward here by Tuesday, by Wednesday, we get our next weather system that drops into the Great Lakes and also for the upper Midwest. This could bring the next chance for severe weather, maybe some strong winds, some isolated spin-ups, maybe some large hail, depending on how much instability actually ends up being. This is 3 days out, so we're not going to really look at the high-resolution models yet this far in advance, because a lot can change with the timing and intensity. But all we need to know is there's going to be some unsettled weather dropping in from the northern plains into the Great Lakes and out of Canada and moving down into the eastern seaboard and the northeast. And so going forward here in about 4 days, we can see some of the showers, some of the thunderstorms moving into the southeastern United States, into the mid-Atlantic coast, as well as the northeast, the New England area, getting some isolated showers and thunderstorms. And then want you to take a look at this for me, right? We got some snow to deal with by Thursday. So that cooler air coming in by Wednesday, by Thursday, really by Friday, you're going to feel the chill in the air because of this Arctic air mass. And you can just see it right here by following the 540 isotherm, which is the average freezing level in the atmosphere. So not particularly moist, but it's dry and it's much cooler than what you're used to already. You're seeing some cooler air, but it's going to get more colder before long. So by day 5, we can see big Arctic vortex really parking its way into the Great Lakes, into the Hudson Bay, as well as if you're in say if you're in the Manitoba, if you're in portions there, say Saskatchewan, Canada, definitely going to be feeling much colder because of this. And then by the end of the forecast, another Arctic blast slides on in, but this one is a little bit more uncertain. But if it does pan out, you could be seeing some of the coldest temperatures ever, possibly in mid-October, let alone because we got some much colder air that could be coming on down out of Canada. And then, of course, this could trigger with more severe weather along a cold front boundary that is draped across the Great Lakes into the Midwest and the deep south there of Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Why not? Let's take a look at our temperature anomaly forecast. This is a 1-day average anomaly forecast. I'm not going to be as specific as I would like because this video will end up being thousands of hours long. We don't want that, okay? And so let's take a look here at our 1-day average temperature anomaly forecast on the European model, right? We can see, first of all, over the next 2 to 3 days, temperatures are going to be above average across much of the northern tier of the United States, the Great Lakes, including for Canada, but it will not be long before temperatures do slide back to below average. So by day, perhaps by day 5 and 6. So this would be Friday morning through Saturday morning, October the 14th through the 15th. We can see temperatures could be anywhere between 5 to 10 degrees below average. Yes, it's going to remain very warm back west because of that ridge that's going to be in place, and then it doesn't end from there, right? Let's go to the end of the model forecast, and we can see big blast of cold air really slides into action here by day 8 and 9. But of course, this is going to change with time, and I want everyone to please understand that this is not a set in stone forecast, but it's a model guidance trend that we got to really watch for, because it's been showing this for the last few days, showing this big blast of cold air with temperatures that could be anywhere between 10 to perhaps close to 20 degrees below average. And yep, this is the time of the year for it. This is kind of that mid-October feel. This is fall, and yes, we're beginning the transition into the winter period in the next month and a half or so, and that means more of these blasts of cold air will become a common occurrence. So yes, if you think it's cool now, just wait until you see the actual temperatures that I'm going to show you. And so that's going to continue perhaps through the next 10 days. But of course, there is a 5 to 10% chance that these below average temperatures will likely extend into that period. Because again, models are going to change, right? We've talked about this in past videos. So now, what is it going to feel like? What are the actual temperatures going to be like from Monday and beyond? Well, to start your morning, it's going to be in the 30s and 40s in the northern tier of the United States. Canada, going to feel the bitterness to the air, going to feel crisp and cool out there, and then temperatures really warm up. In fact, despite starting off in the 40s in the morning time, you're going to warm up pretty nicely into the low 70s if you're in Saskatchewan, southern Manitoba, southern Alberta, Canada. Going to feel really nice. And then, of course, across much of the United States, not going to feel too bad for your Monday. And then just going forward, I'm just going to fast forward this because I don't want to bore you all. We're just going to go right into the main topic of this video, which is the cold air. We get our first blast of air coming in on Thursday and Friday, right? That will drop temperatures down into the upper 20s to low 30s in Wisconsin. If you're in Minnesota, if you're in Iowa, yeah, some of these areas could be just as cold as the higher elevations in the Rockies, just to show you that that is a good patch of cold air that comes in. And then it's not going to warm up very much during the day, right? The sun angle is low enough to where the land heating is limited because of that colder air aloft. But yeah, it's still there. Temperatures only warming up into the upper 40s to low 50s in the Great Lakes region. And then, boom, chukalaka, it's coming back again by the end of the forecast. Look at these temperatures during the day. We're talking about upper 20s to low 30s, and take a look at these overnight lows. Might even see some low to mid 20s. Yeah, that's cold. You can now complain about the cold because it's going to spread its feet all the way down into, say, portions there of the southeast, except for Florida. Florida never partakes in these kind of outbreaks. Also cooling down a little bit there in California, thanks to the anomalous ridging that should break down by the end of this forecast. But of course, models are going to change. We cannot always say, oh, this model shows this, it's going to be like this. We got to look at ensembles. We got to look at other tools to tell us what it might end up being like. So we can get that based on our latest European ensemble forecast showing that there's a pretty good likelihood that temperatures are going to be below average on most of the ensemble guidance. And when you take a look at our actual air temperature, most of the models indicate it's going to be pretty chilly by the 17th and the 18th of October. That's when it's going to feel a lot like winter. All right, so now we're going to be taking a look here at our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook by the Climate Prediction Center. And yes, no doubt at all in my mind that they're going to be going likely below. An 80 to 90% chance you're going to have temperatures below average in the eastern half of the U.S. If you're in the southeast, if you're in the New England area, you're leaning below to perhaps likely below average with those chances of temperatures. And then, of course, on the other side of the country, like where a lot of my viewers are from, in the Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Nevada, California area, you're going to have a likelihood of above average temperatures. Really no chances of it being below average one single bit, even at night. An 80 to 90% chance of that occurring. Precipitation likely below to leaning below across much of the country except for the desert southwest, and that's because of the monsoon that doesn't want to give up at all. Yes, the monsoon continues down there in Arizona. If you're in Tucson, if you're in southern New Mexico, western Texas, the monsoon not giving up just yet, including for Florida, that is kind of leaning above in terms of its precipitation forecast. Temperatures the next 8 to 14 days running through the end of October. That's the October 23rd timeframe, leaning above to above average chances with temperatures still continuing across the Pacific Northwest with leaning below to below average chances of those temperatures being across the eastern half of the U.S. Kind of similar to with the 6 to 10 day forecast, almost identical in those kind of two frames. All right. Precipitation, same thing. Not much change here. Above average in the deep south, leaning below across the northern tier of the United States. So what I'm telling you all is it's not going to be snowy. We're not talking a lot about snow here. It's going to be about those temperatures that are going to be likely below average. And I mean, you saw it on the map. That's a lot of blue. So get used to it. Get the sweatshirts out. Get the heavy coat out because you're going to need it if you're going outside doing anything like working on your gardening, if you're just watching the fall colors change. Hence is why Weather United is celebrating the fall colors as my profile and my banner all the way until December, right? So make sure you do bundle up because it's going to be cool out there for the time going forward, at least through October, maybe perhaps the 23rd. That's going to do it with this video. Thank you all for watching. If you liked today's video, be sure to subscribe, share, and like, and also leave an awesome comment in the section below this video. Until next time, I will be back with you more tomorrow, an update on this cold Arctic blast, along to go with maybe some severe weather, onto the recipe of things as well.